Knicks Bros, Knicks Bros TV fans, welcome to a very new and special segment of Jets Talk here on Knicks Bros TV. Again, I have two of my favorite guys on the show again. First of all, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Joe. He goes by Young J00. Joe, go ahead.
Yes, hello everyone. I want to thank Nick Bros for having me on again. My name is Joe. I do videos on YouTube at Young J00. That's my channel. I cover the Jets. NFL news as well. I do a pick'em every single week as well. I also co-host a radio show with Tyson Rouse, a CBS NY sports writer, called Let's Talk Jets. We're on every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern on Blog Talk Radio. You can search Let's Talk Jets, and you know, like our Facebook page, follow us on Twitter. You know, we have a great time, and like I said, we're live every Tuesday. Call in if you can, follow the show, and watch our content. I want to thank you guys again for having me on.
Yeah, not a problem. Ryan from Jayhawk Jet, go ahead and introduce yourself, sir.
All right. Thanks, Knicks Bros TV, for having me on. You can find me on YouTube at Jayhawk Jet. You can find me on Twitter at Jayhawk Jet or at KU Fan from NJ. Just recently, actually, I got a job writing for the Jet Press, so you can find some of my content. Thank you. Some of my content on there. I usually have something up every Monday and Friday. You know, probably around like noon or 1 o'clock. So you can check my content out on there, or like I said on Twitter. I'm always talking sports on there. I haven't really had the motivation to make any YouTube videos as of late, but during the season, definitely I will be. So you can find me on there as well, like I said. But once again, thank you guys for having me on the show, and thank you viewers for watching.
Awesome. Yeah, no, it's I agree with you. It's a little difficult to kind of talk about, you know, sport, you know, Jets-related stuff in the off season when there really isn't much going on. But today's main attraction for this show is going to be what we're going to do today is we're going to go position by position for the most part and kind of talk about who's going to be able to win it, who's going to win the position battle, who should start, who shouldn't. But before we do that, there's a few topics I want to discuss. One being Brandon Marshall coming out and on numerous occasions kind of favoring Geno Smith in my perspective. You know, about him starting. He spoke very highly of Geno Smith. I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to build up his confidence. But what happens if Fitzpatrick wins that quarterback battle? I mean, is there going to be the same type of connection? Is there going to be a distraction amongst the team? Joe, I'm going to let you talk on that first. Go right ahead.
I don't have an issue with Brandon Marshall wanting to connect with Geno Smith. If you look at everything that's been talked about, Chan Gailey came out, even Todd Bowles has come out and kind of dispelled what Chan Gailey said. But Chan came out and said, listen, it's Geno's job to lose. Okay, it's going to be a competition, but if Geno slips up, throws a bunch of picks, then he's gone, you know. But if not, Geno's going to be our starter. I know a lot of Jets fans want him gone, and I get that. There's been a lot of bad Geno. But you have to think about it like this. If Ryan Fitzpatrick is the starter, then we don't have a franchise quarterback. We don't have a quarterback for the future at all. Geno, for all intents and purposes, is a younger guy. He's physically more gifted than Fitzpatrick is. It's just the mental stuff that's a problem with him. But can you really say that we've necessarily had the coordinators for him? I don't know if you can say that. Marty Morningwig wasn't all that great, and Sperano was terrible too. You know, so there's a lot of issues going on with that there. So I don't have a problem with Brandon Marshall coming out and showing confidence in the guy that probably is going to be the starter anyway. Fitzpatrick is also still healing up from an injury too. So in camp, it's looking like they're battling for the position, but it's Geno's job to lose. So I don't have a problem with Brandon Marshall doing what he's doing, showing confidence in Geno Smith, because you know what? If Ryan Fitzpatrick beats him out, then he beats him out and he'll start. And I don't think there'll be a problem with that either, because Ryan Fitzpatrick is a seasoned vet. It's not like this is his first go-around. Of course, guys are going to show faith in Geno, and if Geno beats him out, then Ryan will step in and he'll have no problem with Brandon Marshall either. It's not like Brandon Marshall is saying, if Ryan Fitzpatrick starts, I'm not going to play, you know, with Ryan. That's not what he's saying. He's just, you know, showing his guys some confidence. And that I love that about Brandon Marshall.
Yeah,
because,
go ahead.
One
thing Brandon Marshall does deserve is he deserves that. He's been such a leader in our team this offseason so far. He's shown a lot of confidence in our guys, especially Geno Smith. You made one comment, and I just want you kind of clarifying that as far as you know, quarterback, franchise quarterback. Where do you see Bryce Petty? I know it's very early, but would we even consider him down the road as a franchise quarterback? We haven't seen him yet.
Yeah, right now, I love Bryce Petty, and I've said that before. But I don't know. You don't know what you're going to get out of Bryce Petty. Bryce Petty right now needs to sit for at least a year or two.
Sure, I agree, 100%.
He does not have the mechanics right now, and that's what I'm saying is that if Ryan Fitzpatrick does beat Geno out and he is the starter, then we don't have a franchise quarterback because Geno's good to one after this year. Because if you can't beat Ryan Fitzpatrick, you've been in this league for I think it's like three almost 4 years now. We've seen everything you have. This is the last year of your contract. Why would you resign Geno Smith? You already know what you're getting out of him. You've seen a lot of bad stretches, a lot of bad interceptions, his issues with leadership off the field, just different things that he's gone through here. So if Ryan Fitzpatrick beats him out and becomes a starter, then where do you go? Where do you go? Yeah. So you're either looking at drafting another quarterback or looking for another quarterback in the future, or you're looking to get some guy out of free agency or something like that. So that's the reason I think a lot of people want Geno to win is because you know what? We need a franchise quarterback. We need a guy he doesn't have to be a world beater. We just need a decent game manager. That's what we need. Yep. We need a guy that we can be confident in. So I think that's more than anything. We need a guy we can be confident in at quarterback. And if Geno's not going to be that guy, Fitzpatrick, he can fit the mold, but he's not going to be here forever.
Yep.
So, what do you do? So, like I said again, I think that's just Brandon Marshall being a veteran leader, showing the guy, that's on the ropes because everybody's on Geno's back, from the media to the fans to, everybody. So it's like if no one can surround you, it's some of the same things that I saw on Hard Knocks when Mark Sanchez, David Lee was in his ear. Look, even Brian Schottenheimer. When you're in a situation like that, when you're on a team like that, then guess what? You huddle around the guy and you say, I don't care what these haters over here are saying. I don't care about what the fans are saying because they're going to be on your side 1 second and then they're going to be on your back the next. I don't care about what the writers are saying. You know what it is? It's me. It's you. It's it's the offensive coordinator. It's the quarterback coach. We're all in your corner, and it's just us. Whether you're up, whether you're down, we're still going to be here. And that's how you build a solid franchise, around a quarterback. That's how you build a mold around a quarterback. Because if he goes with the ups and downs throughout the season, when he has a good game, he's going to feel like he's invincible. When he has a bad game, he's done for the year. So you know what I mean? So. I don't have any problem with Brandon Marshall backing Smith and wanting to help him out and make it better.
Jayhawk, what do you think?
I think Joe covered it perfectly. If I feel like Geno is only a few mistakes away from losing his job completely, but everyone knows that this is his job to lose. This is his team. Marshall is simply just picking him up and reminding him that this is his team. We all want you to start. But if things do go bad, it is Fitzpatrick's turn to take over. And I'm fine with that. I mean, I'm fine with whoever starts as long as we get wins, minimal mistakes. And going back to what we said about Bryce Petty, I think that Petty is definitely a guy further down the road that we could think about. But it's not like we invested a ton into him. We invested, a 4th-round pick, and we traded up a 7th-round pick, like moved up 1 overall selection. So, I mean, we haven't invested much in Petty, but we're all rooting for Geno to start because if he succeeds this year, he's, in my opinion, a franchise quarterback.
Yeah. No, having a confidence quarterback is definitely what you want on the field, day in, day out. Now, talking about investment and investing into a player, we invested our 6th pick in Leonard Williams this season. What do we expect from Leonard Williams his rookie year? Young Jay, what do you want to see out of Leonard Williams going into this season?
I want to see Leonard Williams get into the rotation. That's it. Most Jets fans are really just over the edge.
Scratch your head.
Just because I get these things on Twitter all the time, and I get these comments all the time from just being on our show, being on Let's Talk Jets. People are expecting Leonard Williams to come out and just literally dominate the league. I'm not saying that he won't do that. I'm a big SC guy. Everyone knows I love Leonard Williams. But let's be real here. Most rookies, especially even guys that aren't pass rushers, most guys on defense, they don't just come out and explode their first year and just go off and dominate and things like that. No. And if you look at our defensive line, this is one hell of a rotation that he's going to be in anyway. He's got, he's Sheldon Richardson, Mo Wilk. Then you also got Snacks in there. It's like, come on, dude. What do you expect this guy to do? Is he supposed to be like?
We're not expecting him to be beast mode. He's just, you know what I mean, play your part.
Exactly. He's going to play his part. Do I expect him to be like the defensive rookie of the year? I don't know. He might just be. But he's going to be in a rotation. All I want to see is solid snaps, solid contribution from him on defense. That's all I want out of Leonard Williams. He doesn't have to have 16, 17 sacks this year or something ridiculous like that. He's a rookie. He's coming into one heck of a defensive line, one heck of a, to be surrounded by all these guys that are successful, that have great technique, that can do a lot of different things on our defensive line, that are versatile. He's coming into that. He's coming into a new scheme as well with Todd Bowles. All these guys learning together. All I want is some solid quality snaps from Leonard Williams and just to see him get better and progress as the season goes on. That's all you can ask of a rookie.
Yeah, I rather have a dominant defensive line game in, game out than rather have one guy racking up 15 sacks a year.
Exactly.
So I totally agree with you. I think one thing I expect out of my defensive line, I expect consistency, and I expect for them to basically be who we expect them to be going to next season.
And you know what? I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, you're fine. I was done. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you know what? You know what's crazy about that is that the pick with Leonard Williams being on the defensive line, that's exactly what he's going to do. Because what a lot of people don't seem to understand, and I've said this before, I think a lot of fans think it's that football is like playing football in reality, in real life, is like Madden, where you can just go in there and you turn off the stamina, right? You turn that all the way down so no one ever gets tired, and then you turn the injuries off too so no one ever gets hurt. So then I'm just playing all day, all right? Muhammad Wilkerson is going to play every snap. Snacks is going to be out there every snap. Sheldon Richardson is going to be out there every snap. That's not the way it works. You have to have depth in this league to be consistent. You have to have depth in this league to get anywhere. And that's what Leonard Williams gives us, too, is depth. So what you're going to see, if he progresses and just gets better and gets better technique and learns the scheme and knows where he's supposed to be, at certain times, what you're going to see is you're going to see a better Muhammad Wilkerson in the fourth quarter. You're going to see a better Sheldon Richardson in the fourth quarter. You're going to see exactly. You're going to make him feel better because these guys don't have to be on the field to serve as many snaps. You know what else you're going to see? You're not going to know the difference. You're not going to, because most fans when they watch the game, you're not going to see the difference. You're still going to see guys getting after the quarterback. You're still going to see guys shutting down the run game. You're still going to see that. And so it's be like, well, so Muhammad Wilkerson was out there all game. No, he wasn't. That was Leonard Williams in there on 2nd and 5. That was Leonard Williams in there on 3rd and 4. That was Leonard Williams in there on 1st and 9, or 1st and 10, something like that. Like, so that's all I want is quality snaps and quality minutes out of Leonard Williams this year.
Yeah. Ryan, what do you expect from Leonard Williams going to next season? Those were good points, Young Joe.
Yeah, no, I basically think the same thing as Joe. I thought he hit the nail on the head with the depth part. That's why I thought the Leger Douzable re-signing was great. That's why I thought the Stephen Bowen signing was great. Kevin Dickerson, Ronald Talley, I know some of those guys will get cut, but all those signings were great. I think depth is huge in this league. I had someone tell me, I don't know if you guys follow In Reese We Trust. It's a Giants fan page on Facebook, but they took a shot at Cromartie and said, he made fun of Milliner for being on the roster bubble. Milliner is no way on the roster bubble at all. Teams go in with 6-7 corners, on their entire roster. Milliner is going to be out there a lot. Screen's going to be out there a lot. Douzable, Williams, they're all going to be out there. No matter what spot in the rotation they're in, they're going to be out there. And I think Williams is going to get out there no matter if he starts or if he's, the second guy off the bench.
Yeah. I
think he's going to produce, and I think the defensive line is going to be great. And going back to Mellon, I think the secondary is going to be great too. So the positions that we're the most deep in, we're going to be solid.
I'm going to make a bold prediction here. You guys tell me if you agree with me or not. I think with having such a good defensive line, I think the surprising positions in our team is going to be our linebacking core. I think our linebacking core is going to make a lot of noise next season. I think Mauldin is going to stand out more than Leonard Williams will, just because I think Mauldin's going to get more playing time than Leonard Williams. So yeah, expect if there's any rookie, if anyone's going to compete for the rookie position as far as for the Jet side, is going to be Mauldin. So, what do you guys take as far as our linebacking core? Because we're not gonna need too much, we don't need to blitz too much having that type of defensive line, but Todd Bowles is going to probably bring in the house. Young Jay, what do you think about that?
Well, when you look at Todd's team, it is a lot of blitz, and I don't know if we have an actual pass rusher on our team. The only guy that I can say that is a natural pass rusher is a guy that hasn't necessarily. We don't know if he's developed or not. Like Quentin Coples is the guy that I want to see take the next step in Todd Bowles' defense. He's got to do something, man. He's got to do something. This is a guy that I know has pass rushing ability. I know for a fact that he can rush the passer. I watched him do it in college. But I don't know what the hell he's doing in the league. I mean, it's injuries. It's lack of motor. I don't know what it is, but we have to get a natural pass rusher. He is on a hot seat. And so, but the insurance policy that we have for Quentin Coples, if he doesn't deliver, is Jason Babin. I thought that was another quality re-signing that McCagnon also brought back, along with, like Jayhawk said, LeJay Duzable. He also brought back Calvin Pace and Jason Babin being in that mix. So I think our linebacking core is solid. There's some holes there, though, outside of David Harris and Demario Davis. With Pace being on the other side, I don't know who's on the other side of that. You got a lot of competition there as well with Aaron Henderson, Tywan Jones, Jamari Lattimore, Joe Mays is going to be in that mix there as well. So there's a lot of battling within that linebacker core there for positions there. So but again, it's kind of mix and match. We'll see how that works. But I think our linebacking core after Demario Davis and David Harris and Calvin Pace, who's getting long at the tooth, is a little thin. But we'll see how these guys work out within Todd Bowles' scheme. Trevor Riley is another guy that's in there as well that will be battling for a position in there. So, I think that with our defensive line being as stout as it is, but there's no real natural pass rushers here. That's the only thing I'm afraid of.
Yeah, I hear you. Ryan?
I think that our depth at middle linebacker is great. Harris, Davis, Henderson, Joe Mays, Jamari Lattimore, Tywan Jones, Julian Hauser. I mean, we have a lot of linebackers. Hauser could also rush the passer. I'm not sure if he's going to make the roster, but he's definitely like a versatile linebacker that we can definitely use. But what concerns me is definitely our pass rushers. But thankfully, we have a defensive line that can probably get after the passer. So that will relieve a little bit of pressure, but we still need guys like Malden and especially like Joe said, Copel, step up. I mean, please step up and then get after the passer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think I think that Malden, like Jayhawk said, I think that Malden is going to be a guy that is going to be on the edge, that's going to be coming off the edge. Malden, Henderson, Copels, and Babin. These are the four guys I think those are going to be the guys that are coming off the edge. I don't know, and again, in Todd's scheme, he's going to mix and match. He's going to have all types of different looks. You're going to have 4-guy fronts, 4 lineman fronts at times. You're going to have 3 lineman fronts at times. You're going to see a lot of hybrid stuff because we have a lot of guys that fit that mold, hybrid guys. So I think we'll develop our pass rush from. I don't think anyone in the world is going to run on us. I think it's going to be the same way it was last year, but I think we're going to have to do some different innovative things to be able to get to the pass rush like we have in the past. Because Quentin Coples is the guy. If this is the year he's going to show up, then, hallelujah. He's fine. He's going to deliver in this defense. He's got to show up. And if he doesn't show up now, then, again, we're going to be in the same position that we were last year where you can't run on us, but it takes us a little bit of time to get to you if you're passing the ball.
Yeah. Jayhawk, I'm going to come to you with this question. We'll go to Young Jay. Where do we stand with Mo? Where do we stand with Mo Williams going to next season? I was one of the guys that right away I said let's sign him before we even got to this point.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we still have $5 million cap space. That's obviously not enough to sign him now, but I think once the preseason rolls around, we make cuts, and we might be able to get ourselves maybe over $10 million after we finally cut down to the 53-man roster. And I think we will be able to extend Mo like we did Revis in 2010. Once we make all our cuts, once we get that additional cap space, I think we will be able to re-sign him. And I think we'll finally, settle down and play football, because he is saying that he's still frustrated and stuff, but he did show up to minicamp, but he is saying that he's frustrated. And I think when the preseason hits, we'll give him his money and we can move on.
I was so excited to have a USC guy called him Mo Williams. I'm sorry, Muhammad Wilkerson. Hey, by the way, Joe, you know Ryan's a Notre Dame fan. I figured I would just make him feel I'm not sure how I said that. Go right ahead, yeah. What do you think? Where do we stand with Muhammad Wilkerson? Joe, can you hear me?
I think his page froze.
Oh. Can you hear me? Damn Patriots fans. Someone's phone's ringing.
It's my phone. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Hello?
Can you
guys
hear
hear
me?
me?
Yeah. Where do we
I can hear you now.
Where do we stand with Muhammad Wilkerson?
Muhammad Wilkerson. I'm sorry, you guys kind of broke up, so a little bit there. Muhammad Wilkerson, I think I think that this is a weird situation. I don't know if we're actually going to be able to resign him. Muhammad Wilkerson is looking for $14 to $15 million a year. You know, that's where he's looking at. That's a category that he's looking at. I think even if we make all these cuts, I don't know if we'll get to $10 million like Jayhawk said. I don't know if that is a realistic number for us. But even if we get to $10 million, he won't sign for that. I think we screwed the pooch. Yep. I think John Idzik jacked it up by not getting him to resign, and he knows his worth.
Yep.
He knows that he's a top defensive end in this league.
I'm not willing to pay him that much.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Because here's the dilemma that you have. Everyone, and I want to resign Muhammad
too.
Yeah, let's let that be known. Okay, let me say that right now, Jets fans. I want to resign Muhammad Wilkerson. I want him here. My problem is that if you resign Muhammad Wilkerson and you give him that money, well, what do you do with Sheldon Richardson next year?
He's going to ask for the same thing. He's already come out and said he wants Sue money.
Exactly. So he's going to ask for the same thing. So you look at that. Then what do you do with Snacks? Because Snacks is a top 3-4 tackle in this league too. Yep. So what do you do with him? You can't pay all those guys that same amount of money. You can't. Yep. Not your defensive line. You can't invest that type of money in that one position. It's not going to work. So what do you do? So either you sign Muhammad Wilkerson and get rid of Sheldon Richardson and keep Snacks, or you lose Snacks and you keep Sheldon Richardson and Muhammad Wilkerson. That's what you got to do.
That's the beauty of having Jefferson, having Leonard Williams. Thank you, Mike McKay.
Exactly. And that was exactly where I was going right there. Was okay. Look, so if you give Muhammad Wilkerson the money that he's asking for, because he's asking for a lot. And he deserves it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve to get paid. That boy deserves to get paid. Period. Sure. But what I'm saying is one of those guys is gone. It's gonna be either Snacks or Sheldon Richardson is gonna be gone. I'm looking at the Snacks, and I'm not saying Snacks because I think he's trash. Snacks is a great 3-4 tackle. Facts. He's a great nose tackle. He's one of the best nose tackles in the league. Very underrated as well. But guess what? You can replace a 3-4 nose tackle. You can replace him. I'm not saying you're going to get the exact same production out of a different guy, but you can. Because we did it when we lost Chris Jenkins. You brought in Sione Pua. You just have to scheme differently. You have to get another fat guy to stand right there and get in the way of all those runs. That's exactly what you have to do. Yeah. So, and then also that the signing of Muhammad Wilkerson, if you give him that much money, well, then what do you do with this mix and match this mix and match offensive line that you have? Because you have to, are you going to invest money in that? Because all this money that you plan on giving him, that 13 to 14 a year, we're talking here, because that's what he's saying that he wants. That's what it's been reported that he wants. So where else do you get that money to go? Because you could take that money that you were going to give him and invest it into offensive line, which is exactly what we need. Because DeBrigashaw is getting older. Nick Mangold is still one of the top centers in the league. But if you look at in everything from right guard to left guard to right tackle, we are in trouble. We are in some trouble at those positions. And that's just right now. We're not even talking about the future. So I think when people talk about signing Muhammad Wilkerson, you have to start looking at the future. Now, if you look at it from the Jets standpoint, from Mike McCaffrey, I don't necessarily know, and I don't think that we'll get a deal done this year. I think that we're going to franchise him next year, and we'll see if we can get a deal done. And if we can't, we're going to trade him. Yeah. We're going to trade him because if we can franchise him, but you don't let a player like that walk out the door without getting some type of value for him.
Hey, we learned a lesson with Revis. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
We learned a lesson with Revis, but to me, it's kind of like I like the fact that Mike Maccagnan didn't jump the gun and didn't let Muhammad Wilkerson kind of control it with him kind of staying out of the mini camps and things like that. Ryan, what's your overall take on this situation?
I mean, I think that when it's all said and done, next year we're not going to have either Snacks or Mo. I mean, that's just being real. I mean, unless we go ahead and trade Sheldon Richardson and invest all our cap space next year into Mo and Snacks, which would be just stupid. I mean, you're not going to keep Harrison and Wilkerson. There's just no way. And like you said, that's why it's great to have Leonard Williams and to have all this depth, because you're realistically not going to keep Muhammad Wilkerson and Snacks under huge deals. I mean, Snacks deserve to get paid and at least half as much as what Sue made. I mean, he's that good. So you realistically can't keep both. And I wish that Idzik would have got a deal done, but I mean, it is what it is.
You know what's frustrating is, I've said this before and I'll say it again. We regressed under John Idzik. You guys talking about how our defensive line might get blown up next season because we can't afford all the players on our squad. It just makes you just kind of realize we were one quarterback away, or if he spent some money or able to do something, we would never be in the position that we are now.
But you know what's crazy, and that's a crazy statement that you made. Had John Idzik gotten a franchise quarterback, and do you know how much worse this would be? Because we would actually have to pay. The reason why we have the luxury that we have right now of being like quarterback is because we don't have a quarterback. Yeah, we don't have a quarterback. We don't have a guy that we have to pay. We don't have a Phillip Rivers. We don't have a Drew Brees. We don't even have Alex Smith. We don't even have that. So look at the luxury that we have when you don't have to pay this one guy that is going to, that's scoring points for you $17 to $20 million a year, or whatever franchise quarterbacks get.
Yeah. All right. Next topic. When we signed Rex Ryan, I love the swagger that he brought to the team his first 2 years. We all did. He kind of put the Jets back on the map. Now he took a lot of talent. There was a lot of talent already on that team when Rex Ryan took over. But one thing that I appreciate about Todd Bowles is, he came out and just told the players that we should, tone down the talking. I know Cromartie's been part of this social media thing. He's, gotten a couple of players. So I like his approach a lot. I think what he's trying to do is, guys, let's let our game play, let our game talk for us rather than us just, behind our computers just talking on Twitter or whatnot. How do you feel about Todd Bowles kind of silencing the critics, Jayhawk?
I mean, I'm definitely all right with it, at least for now, because I'm going to go ahead and say Cromartie got a little bit out of hand, especially with Kellen Winslow. Yeah. He was definitely getting out of hand, and I heard that Bowles spoke a little about it, and hopefully the chatter off the field. I know Cologne went out and said, Geno he was not ready to start in 2013. I also thought that was a dumb comment. So I do like that the chatter off the field is toning down a bit, because I remember 2012, every single day I look on ESPN, it was something stupid happening.
Yeah,
with the media in New York. So I'm just happy that everything is dying down with the chatter, and hopefully it'll stay down.
But here's the thing: in 2012, and also 2011, we were winning games. You know what I mean?
I'm talking about the butt fumble season.
Oh, let's not talk about that. Young Jay, go right ahead.
Yeah, I just think it's Todd Bowles' style. I think every coach has their own style. I've said this before. I think that Rex's style is to be loud, is to be brash. It is to pump his players up. Everybody kind of bashes Rex for, he'll get a guy, a middle linebacker off the street, and try to coach him up, and he'll get in front of the media, and people will ask him, well, what do you think about this guy? And he'll say, he has Ray Lewis-like qualities. That's just the way he coaches. That's just, he wants to instill that type of confidence in his players, and it makes them want to play better for him. Because when you have a guy that has that type of expectation for you, where coach is on the sidelines right now, and he feels like I'm the best linebacker in the world. You know what? I am the best linebacker in the world. And I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna run into a brick wall for the guy, and that's what a lot of players. That's why a lot of players wanted to come here. That's why a lot of players played their hearts out for Rex. But I think that just got a little old, and there was other issues as well with personnel and things like that. But I think that Todd Bowles is more of a guy that's like, look, because Rex was about business too. But I think that Todd goes about his business just a little bit more quiet. He's a guy that's, like you said, he told Cromartie, hey, shut it up, man. Let's just go play football. Let's go in there. Let's have fun. Let's do our film study. Let's do everything. Know where you need to be, and understand the defense, understand your position and what you're supposed to be doing, and that's how you go about it. So, and it's fine. I think it's just different styles, different coaching methods, different ways of going about business and about life as well.
Joe, I'm on the same page with you when it comes to I have a love and hate relationship with some Jets fans. I mean, it is what it is. We have some amazing fans that know a lot about football, and there are some that don't. The reason why I'm saying that is I'm kind of getting sick and tired of hearing Dee Milliner is a bust. I would consider, and I'm not saying he is, but I would consider Pryor being a bust more than Dee Milliner. The reason why I say that is because we saw Pryor play the entire season. We didn't see that with Dee Milliner. The guy got injured. The guy got hurt. He had a tremendous career in Alabama. The guy got hurt. I think with Revis and Cromartie coming to New York is probably the best thing that could have happened to Dee Milliner. I really think he will make the team, whether if it's going to be the third or fourth cornerback. We still got Buster on our team as well. But I think the number one thing Revis and Cromartie should do going to next season is they need to look at this team and say, how do we make these young guys better? And I don't think Milliner is a bust. I think he's going to make this team. Young Jay, what do you think?
It's crazy, and I totally agree with you, Nick Bros, because what blows my mind is that I'm just going to speak on some Jet fans. It's just like I get the same stuff. I get the tweets, hey, when we drafted Petty, I had people literally tweeting me, well, looks like Petty's about to start this year. Let's go, Petty.
Let's go ahead.
I remember when we drafted Leonard Williams, it was like the people were, oh, well, time for Muhammad Wilkerson to go. Let's trade him now. It's like, okay.
Jack City.
Exactly. It's like, come on, guys. Like, I totally understand where you're coming from, and it's crazy because it's like, yo, these dudes Leonard Williams hasn't even touched another offensive lineman, outside of being on the Jets, hasn't even, played any games in the NFL. It's like, how do you anoint him? Well, he's the second best defensive end on our team. It's like, what? He hasn't even played yet. It's like, it's crazy. Yeah, Bryce Petty.
So fast.
Yeah. People do forget. It's like, well, Bryce Petty's going to start tomorrow. Well, where did Fitzpatrick go? Like, did he walk off a cliff or? I don't know, man. But to get back to everything, it's just like Dee Milliner is not a bust, okay? And this is something that I was hinting at too. Was that, and you said it, people forget so fast. Before Dee Milliner got hurt, I don't think people forget those games where he was literally like a shutdown corner almost. People were not throwing at him. It wasn't like when Dee Milliner was on the field and he was healthy, he looked crazy. Like, it looked like we had drafted another. I'm not saying he was another Revis, so don't tweet me about this, guys. I'm just saying that it looked like we drafted another guy that was going to be very good in this league. Now, is he a bust? I don't think he's a bust because we've seen he's extremely talented. Has he been hampered with injuries? Absolutely. Yeah. But I think that, and this is my thing, and if you listen to our show on Let's Talk Jets, you'll hear me say this over and over again. I think this is the year that Dee Milliner is going to show up, and you hit it nail right on the head. You said, hey, bringing in Revis and Cromartie, bringing them back, and allowing Dee Milliner to heal up and play different positions is going to benefit him, and I think it is. I think that Dee Milliner is going to be healthy this year, solidly healthy. This is my guy. He's my under the radar guy he's gonna show up this year and show out. So I'm big on Dee Milliner over here. Okay, I got a Dee Milliner. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm on the fan club. I started it. We got a good fan page going. I'm the Dee Milliner guy here. I think that this is Dee Milliner's year where he develops, because this is the last year for him. After this, if he doesn't,
you'll see Young Jay 00's channel is going to be Young Jay 27. Ryan, what do you think of this whole Dee Milliner situation? How do you think he's going to do next season?
Well, like Joe said, I think he's going to step up big time. People forget Week 16, 2013, he shut down Josh Gordon, who was probably the hottest receiver of that season.
Good point.
And then the next week, besides maybe 1 or 2 passes, he shut down Mike Wallace and ended the Dolphins' season with 2 picks. So I think we've seen the talent that Milner, brings to the table. The only concern is his health. He's dealt with the high ankle sprain. I believe he got knee surgery 2 years ago. So he does have health concerns, but and then of course the Achilles. But if he stays healthy, he's just going to add on to this just great secondary that we have. And people are saying that he's not going to play behind Revis and Cromartie, and that he's never going to get the rotation.
Yep.
There's dime packages, there's nickel packages, whatever you want to put him as the third or fourth, like you said. He's going to play no matter what. He's going to be out there on most third downs, when teams are throwing the ball. He'll even be out there on second and long. I expect us to get to the quarterback a lot this year and create a lot of second and long.
A lot of interceptions this season.
Yeah. So I think that Milner will be on the field a lot. And let's not forget, Revis and Cromartie are both over. Well, Revis is going to be over 30 years of age, during the season. But, we don't have the youngest secondary, but Milner is, no matter what, going to rotate. He's going to rotate in, and he's going to step up. And we're not going to have any more bust labels or concerns with him.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I wanted to speak on that. It's good that you talked about that too, Jay Hawk. I wanted to talk about our cornerback position there. And when you said that, Jay, I do believe that as well. I think that D. Milner is the third best corner. When healthy, he's the third best corner on this team. He might even be the second best because Cromartie's technique and things like that. I think Cromartie is one of the most athletic corners in the game. I think that's what his game is based on. But when you look at Cromartie, when you take away that athleticism, like the year before we got rid of him, when he had that hip injury, a lot of cornerbacks, what happens is when they get injuries, they're able to settle down and settle into their technique. You saw that with Darrelle Revis when he came back. He wasn't 100%, but he was able to settle in with his technique, and he was able to work his technique and still be a good corner. Well, Cromartie, and there's no disrespect to him, but he doesn't have the best technique in the league. That's factual. Yeah. He's a guy that's long, rangy. He's going to run with you, and he's going to just be in your face because he has such superior athletics. Well, D. Milner is a guy that does have pretty good technique and is very settled. So I think he's going to challenge a lot of different guys. And don't get me wrong, Buster Skrine is a great corner. He's a good corner, very versatile. But I don't think that he's better than D. Milner if D. Milner is healthy. Go ahead.
I want to mention one thing. The only area that I questioned Mike McKagan in signing was Buster. The only reason why I say that is because I felt like I believe in Milner, and I thought, that kind of took some shine off of Milner not being able to, you know what I mean? They're just right now we're sitting on too many corners.
Well, let me, and it's good that you touched on that. Let me respond to that. I think that signing Buster Skrine is an insurance policy because as much as we're sitting here talking about D. Milner, what's our knock on D. Milner? He's never healthy. That's our knock on D. Milner. So you can say, hey, well, you're taking the shine off of him. If you look at Buster Skrine's deal, it's a performance-based deal. It's not like he just way overpaid for this guy. If the guy performs, he's going to get paid. That's factual. But you have to account for the fact that, D. Milner, damn good corner. He's always injured, though. so it's just like if you had a Ferrari in the driveway. Oh, great, we got a Ferrari. But you can barely start it. It barely runs for you. It'll run for a week, and then it won't run for the rest of the year. Well, damn, do you really have a good Ferrari?
You always have a Toyota Camry that you can always count on.
It's like, you can't play like that. And I can't understand. Understood that. It's not just Milner. I think that our starting four corners are going to be Antonio Cromartie, Darrelle Revis, Buster Skrine. I think Milner's in there. I think after that, you definitely have a position now. You got Darren Waller that's going to be outside of there. You got Curtis Brown that's going to be outside of there. You got Marcus Williams, who's a really solid corner last year for us that came off the streets. Deshaun Phillips. There's a lot of different guys out there that are going to be battling in that cornerback position to make that roster under there because I think we're going to carry at least 6 or 7 corners. So after that D. Milner, after about that 4th cornerback spot cutting off, you're going to see a lot of guys battling for those next 2 to 3 spots. And it's going to be deep. It's going to be deep, and I think that's definitely going to help us a lot.
We got a comment from Night of the Shield. Please watch his show on Thursday nights. He does a live segment on there. I believe he had a co-host on there as well by Raider Vision. Please check out his channel too. He just started now YouTubing. I'll support anybody that does this YouTubing thing. I don't care which team you support. Knight's comment is, I think Todd Bowles will do a better job managing the offense. That would be the biggest difference between him and Rex Ryan. Bowles seems like a complete team manager, not just a defensive coordinator, and I can see that. I think I'm not saying he is. I feel like Todd Bowles is more open to learning the offense than Rex Ryan was in his time in New York. Go ahead, Young.
Are you saying me, Nick? Bro?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I don't know if that's. See, this is something that I think is so unfair. But this tag that's been given to Rex is that he's just a defensive guy, and that's all he ever cared about. Can I ask you a question? The first year that Mark Sanchez was drafted, what's a rookie quarterback's best friend?
Running back.
Okay, running back. So who do we go out and get him?
What does it say that again?
Who do we go out and get Mark Sanchez?
LaDainian Tomlinson.
Okay, so he had a solid two-back system with Thomas Jones and LaDainian Tomlinson. You had a way better offensive line than we ever had. You had, the
blame goes on John Idzik. I mean, if this is where you're going, the blame goes on John Idzik.
I'm just so I think it's necessarily about managing the offense. I think that, like Rex did things. And all our offense, we had best offensive line. He did Mark Sanchez. So it's like I don't know if you can Rex that.
I'm getting cut off, Joe.
Yeah, you're cutting out a little bit.
You're doing the rapid talk right now. It's like you took a couple of Red Bulls and then you come on my show.
Oh, that's great.
Your screen went really fast, Joe. Can you hear us?
Say it again. I'm sorry, you guys are breaking up really.
Yeah. It kept breaking up. I don't know why it's doing that.
Okay, I'm sorry. Where was I at? It's the Patriots, man. I know it. This is definitely Tom Brady.
We're talking about Todd Bowles and Rex Ryan.
Well, I was just saying that Rex went out and got Mark, the best offensive line in the league. He gave him a solid running game. He went out and got Braylon Edwards and Antonio Holmes, and Jericho Cotcher was there. He went out and got this guy stuff to make him successful. So saying that Rex didn't know, he's just a defensive guy and that's all he does. No, he went and got this guy the tools. Things fell apart, for various reasons, mostly for cap reasons. Mike Tannenbaum didn't know how to spend money correctly. Then you brought in John Idzik. He didn't know what the heck he was doing either. If you look at Rex's offensive coordinators, which most of them he did not hire, outside of Marty Morningwig was the only guy he actually gave a vote of confidence. Those guys were trash. Anywhere that Brian Schottenheimer went, he made the offense worse. He made it worse when he went to St. Louis. He destroyed Sam Bradford. Then he ran from St. Louis and went to college, went to Georgia. He's disappeared. He's not even in the league anymore. Tony Sparano, are we even talking about Tony Sparano? He's trash too. Then you look at Marty Morningwig, who has a great offensive line. He doesn't know how to fit. He's a fit person. So that's the best way because he has
It's cutting out again.
Yeah, I think you just cut out again.
Yeah.
Jason Maru, the backfield is absolutely dominant. I mean, there's so many things that Todd has this year. It's like, this offense is pretty much built to produce.
Yeah. Jayhawk, I want your opinion on this. There's been rumors that we might go after Evan Mathis from Philly. What do you think about that for the guard position?
I mean, I'd be fine with it, even if we don't keep him by the time the season starts. Of course, if we sign him, he's going to ask for a lot of money. He's a Pro Bowler. He left Philly. He didn't show up at minicamp because he was not getting a good amount of money. He wanted a raise, so they cut him, which I thought was dumb. They could have traded him. Team definitely would have, took him in the trade because there are teams that they needs at guard. I do think we could use a guard, but I would not say it's a huge dire need. We have a veteran, Willie Colon, might not be a stud, but he's got one more year left in him. We have James Carpenter we just signed. I think Ode Abuji could step up.
I like Abuji.
Yeah, so do I. I think Jarvis Harrison eventually could step up, maybe. I think we do have guys that could play, and we definitely could use Evan Mathis, but he'd only be around for maybe 1 year. So I don't know if we want to spend all that money for just 1 year. We might not get a very productive season out of him, and that's what we'd be looking for if you're spending that much money into a player for 1 year.
Yeah. No. Yeah, those are good points. Can I ask you a question? Is that a Bart Scott jersey?
Yes.
I have one too.
Yes. Yep.
Bart Scott was the man in 2011. Let me ask you guys this: have you felt the new Nike jerseys? They feel so weird. They feel super snug.
This is a Reebok jersey.
No, I know that's the Reebok one, but I'm just saying the Nike ones. It just.
I actually haven't gotten the Nike one. I just have all my Reebok ones.
It feels so snug, like it's not even breathable.
Really?
Yeah. Well, that's just my opinion. Sorry, we get off topic. Young Jay, what do you think about Evan Mathis?
I don't think he's a realistic signing. I understand a lot of fans want to have every single Pro Bowler that we possibly can on our team, but I just don't think it's a realistic signing. Especially if you're talking about trying to get Muhammad Wilkerson signed. Where do you think that money's going to come from? It's going to come from the Muhammad Wilkerson fund. So Evan Mathis would be a decent guard to add on, but like Jay Hawk said, we have a lot of guys competing. James Carpenter, I think, is going to seal up that left guard position. I don't want Willie Colon starting anything. I don't want him starting to get into. I don't want him on the team.
Last season.
Yeah, so many penalties, so many ridiculous stuff. I mean, I don't want Willie Colon anywhere near the Jets. I don't want him by the stadium. I don't want him.
To cut him? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. I want him gone. I want him cut.
He cleared out close to $1 million. We signed him for maybe the veteran minimum, but it could have been around $1 million. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, he's completely trash. I don't understand why he's here. What does Willie Colon do for us that we can't get another lineman to do? He has piss poor technique. He's safe getting penalties. He's a drive killer. What is he here for?
Awful run blocker. Run blocker.
Exactly. Jayhawk hit it right out. I was about to say he's an awful run blocker. What does he do? I don't want him anywhere near the Jets. I don't want him in the stadium. I don't want him in the stands. I don't want him serving popcorn. I don't want him parking cars in the parking lot. I don't want him doing anything I don't want him directing traffic outside. I don't want him doing anything near the stadium. I don't want to have nothing to do with the Jets. If he works at a department store, I don't want him selling Jets paraphernalia. Nothing. I don't want it. Don't touch anything. Yeah. I can't stand it, man. I don't want him near the color green. Just nothing. He shouldn't be able to get on a Jet. I don't want him nothing. Willie Colon should not be able to do anything here, and it's annoying. But if you go through that guard spot, so I automatically would have X'd his name because he should be gone either way, especially with him running his mouth the way he did about Geno.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I'll admit I did not like that.
Yeah. It kills me, and I know we're going to go into that later, but it just blows my mind that you can make a comment like that, and you're part of the reason why Geno wasn't successful last year because you can't block. You can't block. You got guys in his face.
Let me say, there's a lot that affected Geno Smith's performance. I mean, the guy had nobody to throw to. The guy didn't have much of a running game. The offensive line was questionable, and the fact that he came out and said those comments just kind of blew my mind. Joe, just so you know, we don't get to see. I don't have a picture of you. Just FYI, it just shows. No, I can't see you, but just so you know.
Okay, I can see both of you guys. I don't know what's going on here. It's got to be the Patriots, man. They're trying to stop us.
Blame it on the Pats. Let's get into the positions. Let's start with the running back position. We have Chris Ivory, where I think he's probably going to be the favorite to win the starting position. And then we also signed Riley and Stacy. Jayhawk, go right ahead. What do you think about the running back position? Who's going to win? What do you think the best options are for the Jets going into next season?
I think Ivory is your first and second down back. I think that, I thought the Stacy move was tremendous. He's got some quickness to him. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. I thought that the Stacy move was great. He had a great year in 2013. Then he got stuffed on the depth chart behind Trey Mason, Benny Cunningham. I mean, just guys that he should definitely be at least, in the rotation with. He didn't even play at all last year. And then they drafted Gurley. I mean, that was just a big slap in the face to Stacy. So I think that he could definitely step in, be a great third down back, maybe even play a little more than that. And I just thought that move was great. I think Ridley will get the ball as well. And people are still forgetting about Bilal Powell. This guy can carry the ball. He's great at picking up first downs. I just love our backfield. Let's not forget Darrell Richardson's back there, too. We have 5 solid running backs. I mean, I love our backfield, but I think Ivory's the main guy.
You think he's gonna have a breakout year next season?
800 yards or so. I think he'll have a better year than he did last year. I think he'll have more touchdowns, but he'll have the same amount of yards, I think. Everyone will touch the ball, but I think Ivory will get the ball the most. He's just the most explosive. He doesn't fumble the ball. He flips over the line and stuff. He somehow hangs on to the ball. I mean, he's just a guy you can trust.
2 of the worst things last season. One was John Idzik, and second is Chris Johnson. Young J00, go ahead.
I would agree with Jayhawk. I think Chris Ivory is going to end up being the starter. But this is another position where there's a lot of battles. I think that Bilal Powell is going to be in that rotation. Stephen Ridley and Zach Stacy and Darrell Richardson. Darrell Richardson is another guy that I like. I think he got stuffed out because of Chris Johnson last year, or he would actually have made the roster. And he's a guy that I think is explosive too. He's kind of in the Chris Ivory mold. I don't know how many backs we're going to carry. I'm guessing we'll just carry 3 because I doubt we'll carry 4. So I think Chris Ivory's going to make it. I think Bilal Powell, depending on how he performs in preseason, he's going to make it as well. And I think Darrell Richardson again is going to be on the practice squad again. I think he's going to get pushed out by either Stephen Ridley or Zach Stacy. But I think that Zach Stacy, like Jayhawk said, is a guy that can catch the ball out the backfield. He's not super fast, but he's got some quickness to him. I know he was banged up last year, and that's kind of what hampered him too. He had some injuries, but I mean, he's a guy that kind of fits a Gailey scheme of getting guys out in space. And if he can catch the football and get out in space and make some moves, then he probably isn't going to end up making the roster too.
Yeah. Let's talk about wide receivers here. Obviously, we got Brandon Marshall from Chicago. He's going to be our number 1 guy, I believe. We also have Eric Decker, Jeremy Curley, and we drafted Devin Smith. One of the biggest things I feel like Eric Decker going to next season is going to be the hot seat for me on the wide receiving core, just because we blew him up to be this number 1 guy, which he isn't. To me, last season he had an Eric Decker-like season. Especially the last game of the year, I believe it was against Miami. But who do you guys see as 1 and 2? Where does Devin Smith fit into this wide receiving core? Jayhawk?
He's most likely just a deep threat. I think that Curley is still your slot receiver. You still have a guy in Owusu that can catch passes. I don't want to put too much pressure on Devin Smith like we did Stephen Hill. Of course, we have receivers other than Devin Smith on the roster in Marshall and Decker and Curley. So Stephen Hill is not just thrown in as the number 2, and same with Devin Smith. There's guys around him, but I still don't want to throw him the ball too much. These are going to be deep passes that we're throwing the ball to. He's not much of a slant guy just yet. Most of his passes in college were just deep balls. I don't know how many catches he had exactly, but I know his average was somewhere in the high 20s, in yards per catch. So most of his passes were deep balls. And if we just throw him the ball deep, 5 to 7 times a game, and he only catches 1 or 2, people are going to be calling for his head, oh, he's another Stephen Hill. I just don't want that to happen. So I guess just for now, a deep threat, because I still think Curley's your slot receiver. And we still have to develop Devin Smith into a slot receiver, a guy that can catch screens, a guy that can catch slants, because most of the stuff we saw in college was just deep balls.
No, I hear you. Young Jay?
Yeah, I think I kind of think along the same lines that Jayhawk was saying. I don't think that Devin Smith is going to kind of be asked to do too much stuff. I do think that he is going to be the deep threat. I think that Eric Decker, Jeremy Curley, Brandon Marshall, and Devin Smith are kind of your locks. I think after him, if we carry 6 wide receivers, a guy that I love, if you listen to our show, Let's Talk Jets, you know that I love him, is Salim Hakeem. I think a lot of people don't talk about Salim Hakeem. I think he has elite speed. He's talked about every single year as a kick returner and a punt returner, a special teams guy. But I think he also has just the talent and speed as well to be an offensive weapon, to be a threat on offense. I think after you talk about those first 4 positions, the next 2 guys, if we carry 6 receivers, they're going to have to do multiple things. They're going to have to be special teams guys. They're going to have to contribute there, and they're going to have to do other things to make this roster. So I'm thinking after those 4 guys that I initially talked about, I think Salim Hakeem and Chris Iwao are probably going to make the squad. Because Shaq Evans is trash. He would have been gone if he hadn't gotten injured last year. Quincy Nua is all right. T.J. Graham is okay, but they're not as good. We even got DeVere Posey, who might actually be
Don't even get me started on Walter Powell.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's just like, Jonathan Rumpf signed as well, but I just think at the end of the day, I think Salim Hakeem, because he has a special teams background, and he played special teams last year. He also played some defense too, and he can kick and punt return. He's also a gunner, and Chris Iwao is a guy. Those last 2 guys are going to round out the roster.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think one thing this season, though, needs to happen. We need to help out Geno Smith or whomever is going to be a quarterback in the end zone. We had a tough time last season. And I think with this wide receiving core, we're able to do that.
I don't think. Can I say something? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think that who I think is going to come up big in the red zone is going to be Jason Morrow. I think Jason Morrow is going to be our red zone threat. I think that's the guy that's going to take the pressure off of Geno Smith. If you look at what Jace did last year with the very few plays that he was given, routes that he was given to run, he was still fairly successful, even though he wasn't on the field much. So Jason Morrow is the guy I think is going to be kind of another guy on offense that's going to break out this year.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Now we've talked defensive line, we've talked the linebacking core a little bit as well. What do you guys expect to see out of Pryor going to next season, Jayhawk?
I think that his move back to his original position of strong safety is going to help him a lot. He can play more in the box opposed to in coverage where, he was really not good at all. And that's
he
kind
looked
of
lost out there last season. He looked lost.
It's
he looked
kind of that's kind of where he earned his bust label. I remember in the first game against Oakland last year, he dropped an interception. It's like he didn't even expect to see the ball at all. It just hit him in the chest, and he just was I supposed to catch that? It feels like he's never touched a football in his life. He's just used to hitting guys, and I think now that he's at the position of strong safety, that'll help him a lot. That'll just help him a lot. So I think he'll step up, and he might be the guy on this defense to emerge as a guy that no one really expected to. And I think people will continue to doubt him, but I think he'll step up.
He better step up. Wasn't he a first-round pick last season?
Yeah. He was also playing out of position, though, so I can't put too much on him. But if he doesn't step up this year, come on, you're playing your normal position now. Yeah.
Joe, what do you expect out of Pryor next season?
Yeah, it's crazy that people talk about giving him a bust label. He's only played he just started playing football.
He plays for the Jets. If you don't get
it, he also got hurt last year for a little bit too, I think.
Yeah, it's crazy that people give him a bust label. It's like he just started playing football in the NFL, guys. Let's be serious. I think that Calvin Pryor is a guy that's going to step up in this scheme. I think that this was kind of on the fault of Rex and Izzy, because Izzy drafted him to be something that he wasn't. Calvin Pryor, if you look at all his tape, everything he did in Louisville, he was not a coverage guy. And that just was never his thing. He's an in-the-box strong safety, just like Jayhawk said. A guy, and I'm not saying he's as good as this guy, but I'm just saying, like a Cam Chancellor, a guy that's going to He's going to be in the box. He's going to be in your face. Anything that comes across that middle, he's going to smoke you. That's exactly what he's built to
LeBron
do.
Landry.
Yeah, LeBron Landry, a guy like that. I mean,
Yeah,
Calvin
Landry.
Pryor in coverage looks lost. I mean, Calvin Pryor couldn't cover a bed with a bed sheet. That's just a fact. It's just like these are just facts. That's not what he's built to do. So I think what Todd Bowles is going to do, because we signed Marcus Gilchrist, and we were able to get some other guys in here in safety as well. Antonio Allen might be in that with Marcus Gilchrist. Rontez Miles. You're going to have that frees up Calvin Pryor to get in that box and play his normal position. So I think that he's a guy that's going to be successful in Todd Bowles' team, because Todd Bowles is going to find a way to maximize his talent. And I think that he's, like Jayhawk said, and a lot of people are talking about that, a lot of analysts, a lot of guys, that Calvin Pryor might be our breakout guy on defense this year, where people are going, wow, this kid is going to be, did we really, we didn't really know that this kid was this good. But, so I want to see what we get out of Calvin Pryor. As long as he's not in coverage and he's not having to cover too many guys by himself, he's going to be all right. He also needs to rap when he tackles, but that's a whole nother gig.
I'm so pumped up for next season. It's not even funny. I just hope the players can stay healthy. Guys, I'm kind of out of questions here. If you guys have anything you guys want to talk about or ask, please go right ahead. Jayhawk, Young Jay, anybody? I'm putting you on the spot here.
I kind of wanted to talk about our tight end spot. We touched on it a little bit.
Yeah.
What do you guys thoughts about our tight end spot as far as the competition there?
Young Jay, Jayhawk, you want to go ahead first, or?
Yeah, well, I think Amaro and Cumberland and even Sudfeld are sure bets to make the team. I thought that Sudfeld did a good job on special teams and as a blocker last year. I love that fake punt in Week 17. That worked perfectly. But I do think that Wes Saxton could push him a little bit. I'm not sure about Kellen Davis. I know he's a blocker and he's a veteran, but he's regressed mightily these past few years. He went from being a starter in Chicago that scored like 6 or 7 touchdowns a year to, just nothing. He was like a 4th stringer on the Seahawks, and last year I think he might have been the Lions. Like, I didn't even know he was on the Lions. So,
you guys know we
Cumberland.
can only have 53 men on this roster, right? Is it 53? You wanted one of the 5 running backs on the team, and then now you want all 3 tight ends. I'm going to be so disappointed when we
three
cut
tight
players.
ends is fine. 3 tight ends is fine, but you can't have like 4 or 5. No way.
Yeah.
3 is fine.
No, I hear
But
you. No.
I think it's just Amaro, Cumberland, and Sudfeld, and then Saxton could push Sudfeld, but I think that Saxton's a practice squad guy.
Well, as far as Amara is concerned, I really think he's gonna win that battle. I don't like Amara at first, but he's definitely grown on me. I think he's gonna be a successful tight end going to next season. So, yeah, I feel good with their tight ends. I feel like having such good wide receivers going to next season is gonna take some pressure off of Amaro, because I feel like he was kind of the go-to guy almost last season for Geno Smith. But now, we got Marshall and Decker and Devin Smith and Curley. I feel like Amara's going to be able to, be himself and play his role just fine.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of think along the same lines. I think the pressure is on Jeff Cumberland though. I think Jace is clearly going to be, going to make the team. I think he's going to be a starter. He should be a starter this year. But Jeff Cumberland is definitely going to be battling because, like Jayhawk said, you got Wes Saxton. Zach Sudfeld, I think, is a guy that's gone. His work on special teams is solid, but I don't know if he's going to beat out Kellen Davis, because I think Kellen Davis is a better blocker than a receiving tight end at this point in his career. Like Jake Hawk touched on, he's a guy that has regressed. But I think I think Jace is going to make it. I think that Jeff Cumberland is going to have to battle with possibly Kellen Davis or Wes Saxton. If Wes Saxton comes on and shows that he can catch the football, you might see Jeff Cumberland on that bubble. So I think that's a lot.
Saxton's also a blocker.
Yeah, he's also a blocker too. And so I just, Jeff might be on the bubble, but he just always finds a way to do just enough to make the team or make the roster, and have people excited about him. So who knows? But yeah, there's going to be some battle at that spot for sure.
Well, we gotta go ahead. We got a comment which I'm going to read out to you guys real fast by Marcus Jenkins. He says, "What's your opinion on the Jaguars, and how soon do you think they can make the playoffs?" Man, that's a I'm
Put us
throwing
on
a
the
flag on
spot.
that one. I'm throwing a flag. What are you doing? It's a Jets talk show here. Jaguars. Good grief. Marcus, I don't keep up with the Jaguars. Didn't they draft Gordon, right?
No, they took Dante Fowler.
Dante Fowler.
went
Well,
down.
Yeah, he tore his ACL. He's done.
towards ACL. I don't know. AFC South with the Houston Texans. You got Indianapolis Colts. I don't know. I'm expecting another 6-10 season. Joe, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know about
Joe.
that.
Help me out, Joe.
Yeah, I don't know about Jacksonville, man. That secondary is complete garbage. Their corners are
Besides,
Let's talk about
trash.
why. You know what? A better question. Let's talk about why Florida's got 3 football teams. But no.
I'm sorry, Jayhawk. What did you say? Except for who?
I said they have Cyprian in the secondary. That's about it.
Yeah, that's about it. But outside of him, I mean, that secondary is complete trash. I mean, the corners are weak. Their defense is so. They needed a pass rusher in Dante Fowler. They finally got him in, and boom, he goes down for the year. They got Tyson Alou at defensive end. He's solid. Jacksonville is a couple years away from actually making the playoffs. I think their offense is okay. Justin Blackman, I don't know what you're going to get out of him if you get anything at all. That receiving core isn't necessarily. I mean, Alan Hearns is solid. They went and got T.J. Yeldon as well. They drafted him. They got
I
Robinson.
didn't like that pick, actually.
Say it again.
I didn't like the
Say it
Yeldon
again,
pick.
Jayhawk? You didn't like the Yeldon pick? I think the Yeldon's a guy that can. I think he can move the ball for them. I mean, if you look at their running backs, though, their running backs aren't anything to write home about. But they're solid. Some decent guys. I think you might need. I don't know, man. I just think you need more targets there, more viable guys. But I think they're building. I think the Jags do have a future in this league. They're definitely stepping in the right position. But I just think they're a couple years away. That offensive line is questionable too. My goodness.
Yeah.
But they're taking a step in the right direction.
Yeah. I like their receiving core. Marcus Lee's good. I think Allen Robinson's good. Hopefully Blackman, fixes his life. I mean, he's been out of football for a while now with I guess his drug issues. I haven't really looked into it that much, but I know he's been out of football like Josh Gordon. But yeah, I do like Alan Hearns. I do like Allen Robinson, like I said, and Marcus Lee. So they do have young guys that can step up, further on down the road. I just think that there's a lot of pressure on Bortles already, and that's just bad because that defense is not good, especially without Fowler. There's just a lot of pressure on Bortles just to, win games by scoring like 30 points a game. There's just a lot of pressure on them. I don't know. They're in the right direction, but they're going to lose games this year. They're going to lose a lot of games.
Yeah. Do we play the Jaguars next season?
Yes, we do.
Oh, good. That's a W.
Wow.
But,
Hopefully. Last time,
hey, I'm building
the year before that,
Joe's
they
building
beat
some
us.
confidence. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, last time he said we're going to go 13-3. No, I'm just kidding.
2009, they beat us. I remember that game. That was bad.
Yeah, he also left us another comment. I'm going to let Jayhawk answer this because he's a Nets fan. He says, what about the Brooklyn Nets? What do you expect from them next season? I know it's off topic here, but
I don't know. I mean, Billy King is not my favorite general manager. Now he wants to trade Mason Plumlee. I don't know. I mean,
down inside, you're a Knicks fan tonight.
we just. I honestly wish I was, to be honest. I mean, you guys have a loyal team, a loyal fan base. They moved us out of New Jersey. They want to trade all these players. We don't even know who's going to be on the team next year. I mean, that's to the point where I've gotten with the Brooklyn Nets. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do.
Okay.
We want to trade everybody. It's just stupid. I don't know.
Yeah, actually, Young Jay, do you watch basketball?
Yeah, I do. Sadly, come on, guys. I'm from California. It's the only team in California that matters. Yes, the Lakers. Jayhawk. Yes.
Hey,
Man.
I'm a huge Kobe guy. I like Kobe.
You know what? Listen. We're going through a rebuilding stage right now. I think that there's a lot of options for us. Marc Gasol might be an option for us. Kevin Durant might be an option for us. I think we have the number 2 or 3 pick this year, I want to say, in the draft. Number 2 pick. I thought it was the number 2. Number 2 pick in the. If somehow we can get Towns, I don't know how that was going to happen, but if we can get a solid shooter to go with it, I think we might have some building blocks there.
The Lakers are in a good position. I mean, no matter what, either getting Okafor or Russell. I mean, having that 4th pick, really needing at least one of those guys like the Knicks, that's painful. I mean, I know none of those 3 is going to be able to come down to us. We're going to end up getting either a Moutier, which Jayhawk said before, I'm starting to like him much more. But
Moutier is good.
Yeah, Moutier is good. Any other Jets topics, questions, or anything?
Oh, I also wanted to touch on Todd Bowles. I think that, the issue with Rex was they asked him, if he wanted, well, not if he wanted, if he watched the offense in a practice. He's like, I didn't even watch the offense. Like, that's just an awful response. Like, they ask you about the offense, and he's just like, I don't know, I didn't watch. Like, that's just awful. Yeah. I think Bowles just needs to have the littlest idea of what's going on with the offense, and that's fine with me. That's really all I got to say about that.
I'll tell you what, that's probably one game or those 2 games I really don't want to lose to the Bills, just because I know the entire week I'm going to hear Rex Ryan's voice just bashing the Jets. So I hope we can win both games against the Bills.
Yeah. And he was saying like, we have like one of the fastest offenses out there. Like, our offense is so explosive. Like, you have no idea what's going on with your offense. Like, when you were here, you didn't even watch the offense practice. Come on with that. Like, shut up about the offense, Rex, please.
Hey, that's the truth, man. Hey, listen, nobody was. That offense is terrible under him. Not saying all of it was his fault, but guys,
at least know what's going on.
What is it? Yeah, exactly.
At least know what's going on.
Yeah, something. It's part of your job, Rex. Did you not read the job description? There's a defense, offense, special teams. Remember special teams? Special teams. Right? Offense. You remember offense? The guys who score. All right. Well, gentlemen, I want to thank the both of you. I want to be really honest on here. Both of you guys really bring something special to this show we do. It seems like we're doing it once a month, which is fine because it's off season. There's really nothing to talk about. I can't wait for us to continue this type of session with you guys when the season does start. But I want to thank you for the both of you coming on here. Please, again, comment, subscribe, Knicks Bros TV. Joe, I'm going to let you finish off and say whatever you need to, and then I'll jump to Jayhawk Jet. Joe, go right ahead.
Okay, yeah. I want to thank you for having me on your show again, Knicks Bros. I also want to say thank you to Jayhawk for showing up too, man. I watch your videos. I like your stuff as well. Just for everybody listening, if you want to contact me again, my Twitter is YoungJ000. That's 3 zeros on Twitter. You can follow me. You can tweet me, troll me on there. Believe me, I will follow you, tweet you, and troll you right back. You can watch my videos at YoungJ00. That's 2 zeros on YouTube. Follow me, comment, subscribe, tweet me, or troll me on there too. I'll be right back. You can also follow us on Let's Talk Jet. Go ahead and follow our stuff there. On the show. And follow us there.
I think you're lagging again.
I think I'm breaking that.
Jayhawk, go ahead. Before you start, are you still doing this TTC thing, or?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still in it.
Okay, good. At least there's a jet.
So yeah, just follow me on social media. My name on Twitter is JayhawkJet, but my @ is KUFan from New Jersey, from NJ. So follow me on there. Follow me on here at JayhawkJet, and look for my content on thejetpress.com. I'm posting on there every Monday and Friday around noon Eastern time, so please just check it out. I'll try to get the best content out there as possible, new stuff, new articles, new breakdowns, all that, so please check it out. And that's it. That's all I gotta say. Follow me on social media. Check out my content. That's all I gotta say.
Hey, congrats again.
Thank you for having me on the show.
That's awesome. Yeah, not a problem. It's a pleasure. Oh, here we go. I think we got Joe's picture back.
Oh,
as soon as the show's about to get over, look at those Patriots fans.
Oh my God!
Spygate. Then there is Google Hangout Gate.
Can I? I'm sorry. Can I? It just for whatever reason. Yeah.
Go ahead.
It threw me off and brought me right back. I don't know what's going on here. So I'm sorry, guys. So everybody listening, thank you again for listening. And like I said, just in case I lagged up, Jayhawk, I love your videos. I watch your stuff, man. Just thank you for joining as well, man. I love talking to you. My Twitter is YoungJ000. That's 3 zeros. My YouTube is YoungJ00. That's 2 zeros. That's 2 zeros on YouTube, 3 zeros on Twitter. You can also search Let's Talk Jets on Blog Talk Radio. You can search our Facebook page as well. It's called Long Beach Joe. You see that? Like the page. You can talk to me on there as well, man. I love everyone that just wants to talk Jets, talk sports, talk football, whatever. I will talk to you, man. So I want to thank everybody for listening. And these Patriots fans, these Pats, is crazy, man. They're trying to get rid of me for sure.
Hey, also, two other things. Hopefully next time I can also, along with you two, bring on Islander Blader, is it? I'm gonna keep trolling this guy till he gets on here or something. Like, I'm your biggest fan, bro. But that's one. And then there's Idiot Sport Talk. I believe that's what he calls his channel. But this guy's been doing this Jets thing for a while.
Yeah, and, I've been following him for a while.
Yeah, he deserves a lot of credit for all the. I consider him to be the guy that paved the way. How about that? But I'm hoping maybe he can consider coming on this show as well. I should have done this in the beginning of the show in case they don't want to watch the entire thing. But hopefully, if you did, I hope you come on the show and we can just talk some Jets football. Again, gentlemen, thank you so much, and everybody have a good day.